The following is how to do lumbar diagnosis. So first, understanding your landmarks, knowing that the iliac crests are at L4, so you can go just inferior to that to feel L5, 4, 3, 2, and L1. And what you're going to be doing is there's two different ways. The first one is I'll show you the short lever techniques. So feeling here feels like L2, so I'm going to get my thumbs directly on the transverse processes of L2, and then I'm going to anteriorly press one thumb at a time. And as I press my right thumb forward, it doesn't really move forward. When I press my left thumb forward, I can feel it move back into my right thumb. So that tells me, when I press here, that tells me that L2 is rotated to the right. So the next thing I'm going to test is translation. So I'm going to press both thumbs anteriorly to engage that in the transverse processes of L2, and then I translate to the right, and then to the left. And this vertebrae will translate easier to the left, which means it's side bent to the right. So we know that L2 is currently rotated right and side bent right. So we know it's a type 2 dysfunction. So there's one more piece that we need to know here, and that's going to be whether it's flexed or extended. So once here again, I'm going to ask the patient to slowly roll her shoulders forward. Okay, stop right there. And then go ahead and come back up to neutral, and then look up towards the ceiling. Okay, and back to neutral. So in each of those positions, what I'm feeling for is those transverse processes and how they're changing. When she went forward into flexion down to that segment, it felt as though everything softened up and evened out. So then when she went into extension, the right rotation actually got worse. So this tells me that her L2 is flexed, rotated right, and side bent right. Now, if there was a neutral finding or a type 1 mechanics of the vertebrae, what you would be finding is a rotation one way, side bending the opposite way with no flexion or extension component, and there'd be at least 3 vertebrae that would be involved. So you'd be looking for that group curve. So that's the short lever aspect of diagnosing lumbars. Now I'm going to show you the long lever. Again, you can find and feel for a posterior transverse process. So again, feeling it there. And then I'm going to switch and put my fingers, either middle and thumb or index and thumb, whatever works for you. And then I'm going to reach across to the other shoulder, and I'm going to do some rotation. Again, I'm not rotating past where I'm going. I'm just rotating until I feel motion at that segment. So this vertebrae, again, prefers rotation to the right over rotation to the left. And then for side bending, I can just press the shoulder down one side and then the other side. And when I press down on this left shoulder, everything tightens up. When I press down on the right shoulder, everything feels a little bit better. So again, rotated right, side bent right. And then for flexion and extension, I can kind of roll her forward until I feel motion there. And again, nice and soft. And then bring it back to extension, and everything gets a little bit worse. So again, confirming the diagnosis yet a different way with the long lever technique.